Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's June 10th, 2012. This time we're going to head over to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where Kent wrote in, and he says here, I hope you can help me out of the rut I'm in. I know my blues basics like the 12-bar blues, the blues scale patterns, and I know a few blues licks. My trouble is that I'm playing the same things all the time. Can you make a blues lesson going through what I can do now that will make some quick differences to my playing? From Kent in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Well, thanks for writing in, Kent. You know, the blues style is one with extremely varied infrastructure to it. Some blues ideas are gritty and have playing that's hard and dynamic and has fast scale lines and so forth. And other blues styles are slow and smooth with a flowing, soulful sound. Now, keep in mind that nothing can replace listening to the masters of this style, soaking up the traditions of blues guitar and playing along with, of course, your favorite recordings day after day. That's all really important. But I'd like to run through a number of things that I tend to focus on with my own students here at Creative Guitar to help them really engage with the blues style. Well, I have 4 ideas I want to cover overall. One has to do with rhythm and how important rhythms are. The others have to do with techniques such as bending, dynamics, repeating technical or rhythmic phrases, and basically trying to use a similar line and play it in different ways as well. So I've got a number of things here we're going to go over. Let's start with my first example, and this is just something I want to play here, is a basic boogie riff that is very popular, and I want to stress within showing this that it's very important to spend a lot of time working on your rhythm and having really solid rhythm in blues. So use a drum loop, use some of your favorite recordings and try and play along, or use this riff pattern that I'm going to show you right now. Here is the first example, example number 1. And of course, you could transpose that over to the other chords of a 12-bar blues. You could work on your tempo, play it faster, and do all kinds of work with it. Try and perform the whole thing with down picking, as well as alternate picking. Just really experiment with it a lot, and of course learn a great deal of other rhythmic phrases and boogie patterns as well, because it's a huge part of this style. So let's move on to example number 2 here, because I want to talk about bending. Now everybody bends, they have their favorite notes within the scale pattern that they bend upon. But what I want to talk about is something a little bit more along the lines of the Albert King bending style, where he's bending continuous notes on the same string. So I have a guitar lick here. This is my example number 2, and I'm going to go over this one here where it has these multiple bends, the continuous bends on one string. Here we go, example number 2. It's a very cool technique to use. Just creep along your string, and if the note fits, play it. If it doesn't sound very good, don't play it. Simple as that. Let's move on though to example number 3. This has to do with repeating yourself. Now, it can be done in a lot of ways. You could limit your note usage to a certain little cluster of tones on the neck, or you could, just using those notes alone and make repeating phrases within a cluster of tones. I'm going to go up into 10th position, and I'm going to take a look at a standard blues pattern scale off of D. And what I'm going to do here is I have a 2-part lick that basically repeats itself in its rhythmic meter. So it goes like this. Kind of a little bit of Hendrixy ending to it. But the first phrase, you can hear that. And the next one. So we just have that, and then the repetition. So this is what I'm talking about, of repeating yourself. Come up with something inside of a scale pattern rhythmically, or just try to create a concept of repetition in your lines, because it's really strong. It's a really huge part of this style of blues. So pay attention to that and really work on that. Let's go to the next example. It's a 3-part example that's basically in the key of A. And what we're going to do is we're going to work here to try to develop with one phrase, just one musical statement, a bunch of different technical or dynamic ways that we could play it. Now the phrase is pretty simple. I'm just going to use my initial method here of, the initial example of it here. So this is just the basic bare bones example. I'm just alternate picking everything. But in looking at this another way, I think in bringing out a little bit more dynamics with it, if you down pick everything, it's going to really sound, quite different. Gets louder, a little bit more of impact to the notes. Now let's go to example number 4B, where I'm going to take that run of notes on the third string, the 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to do them all as hammer-ons. So you get a little bit different sound. The color changes, the dynamic is slightly different. Now in example number 4C, I'm going to change it up again. I'm going to do a hammer-on, and then I'm going to do a grace note slide. So check it out. Here's example number 4C. Okay, here's again. So every time that you go through a different way of approaching this, you do get a different color and sound. So I'm a really big proponent of this idea of performing parts in a variety of ways using different techniques for greater or lesser dynamics off of every note. Well, becoming more engaged into the blues style and breaking out of any kind of a rut that you might be falling into doesn't necessarily have to involve learning more licks or learning more techniques. Sometimes just getting yourself up to a new level of playing might simply mean placing more focus upon changing some of the ways that you play your current lines that you already know. Try bending differently. Try limiting your notes. Try repeating phrases, incorporate more ideas around how loud or soft that you play, and definitely record yourself, listen back and analyze your parts. You can also get quite a lot out of singing the scales and working diligently at matching pitch with the blues scale and even with the licks that you want to use for your solos. All these concepts, when they're applied, will definitely breathe new life into your playing and help get you out of any ruts that you might be feeling stuck in. Anyway, once again, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, I hope these ideas help you, and thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.